Your name, please?
Name is Edward Gibson Acheson Jr.
And where is this interview being conducted, Ed?
Being conducted in Brookwood retirement building at on 12100 Reed Hartman Highway,
That's right.
Cincinnati 45211-241.
Okay, Ed, then where were you born?
I was born in Lynn, Massachusetts.
Could I have the date, please?
It was March the 28th, 1925.
And we might mention that today's interview date is June 9th, 2014. Okay?
All right.
And what about your branch of service? Can you tell us something about that?
I was in the Air Force, actually U.S. Air Corps, and then changed to Air Force. And that's which one I was in, yeah.
And how did that happen? Did you enlist or did you volunteer?
Well, I like to volunteer as such. It was the difference between that and being doing what you're asking for me to do. I enlisted. I guess instead of whatever it was you asked me.
Did you have any other brothers or sisters?
Yes, I had a twin brother and a younger brother and a younger sister.
Okay. Any of those serve in the military?
Well, my twin brother did. He was in the naval service.
Did you both drafted at the same time, or enlisted at the same time? Excuse me.
He was, yes. Yeah, we both worked out together. And I don't know if I told you before, when we graduated from high school, we weighed 125 pounds. And we went down to enlist, and they rejected me. And they didn't object. My brother went right through. So I went home and I ate 2 banana splits. That was your and I went back down. And I scrunched down a little bit. They were doing my height, and they passed me. I think they really wanted just somebody that could go through all the time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Was there a story with you and your brother going into the service about the same time?
Yes, we both put down, and I don't know if he was headed first or not. I think it was. He said he was going to go in the Air Force, and I said I was going to go in the Navy. Why, I don't know, but we said that to each other. And I thought about it going in, and I said, well, why don't we go together? So I said, I'm going to go to the Air Force with him. And my twin brother said the same thing. And he went in the Navy, and I went in the Air Force.
I'll be darned. Okay. What about your training then? Where did you go for basic training?
Basic training was in Greensboro,
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was that basic. Just doing, walking with packs on your back and all that kind of stuff. And mostly eating salt tablets.
Trying to keep becoming dehydrated. Yeah. So that was your basic. Where did you Did you meet anybody there in basic that from a hometown or anybody that you knew?
Not really,
Okay.
but I really didn't know anybody that when I went in there. And you would think I'd be in somebody from the same area, but
Never did.
as far as I know, I didn't know anybody.
Okay, that was your basic training. Then where did you go then for your secondary training or advanced training?
I was being enlisted in the Air Force or Air Corps. What's it called? I was going right the right way into cadet training, and I went to Cincinnati, Ohio, at University of Cincinnati. I was stationed there, lived there, ran up and down the stairs in the football field, up and down both. For training, we went down the steps, up and down, over, down the steps, and up again.
All the way around the stadium.
All around the stadium.
Good. And they said good training, huh?
Yeah. And of course, they had some schooling and things like that. Reading and it's just, I feel like some of the courses at a high school that a UC would have, yeah.
Okay, now you were there at UC for pilot training. Is that what brought you to Cincinnati?
Yes, it was called cadet training.
Cadet training. How many folks do you suppose were in your class or there on campus training?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I mean, were there hundreds of them?
Oh yeah, there was
that
a
right?
big crowd, yeah.
So could they have just about taken over the campus?
Yeah, well, we had one dorm for ourselves.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay. What other training did you have then in Cincinnati besides educational aspects there at school? At the university, you were taking academic courses there. Did you have any practical courses that you were taking?
Well, there was training on cadet flying, training to be flight. To have training to be it wasn't be something like flying instruction.
Okay.
And
So where did you take that?
we took that on a free airfield that was called. I lost it.
What's in there? Was that near school?
Watson Field was where it was. Yeah, that and we had training with flying a rocket airplane.
Would this be something similar to what you flew?
Yes, something just like this. Yeah.
We'll just show that here momentarily. That was that plane was manufactured in Hamilton, Ohio.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right, swell.
yes, that's true.
How long were you then here in Cincinnati? Let me back up a bit about your flight training. Were you touch and go, or you didn't do any navigational flights with that type of aircraft, did you?
Well, I was with a co-pilot. I had the reins, as you would say.
The controls.
And, so he took over if anything was wrong. and I had a lot of training up landing because we had to fly over some telephone wires every time you land. You go along and drop in, and I don't think I ever got that really good, but because he used to take over the reins every time.
He didn't trust the students around the wires. Very good, very good. Well, how long were you in training there and here in Cincinnati at University of Cincinnati? Was it like 6 or 8 weeks, or what was it?
It was 3 months.
Oh, 3 months. Okay,
months,
okay.
yeah.
Then from Cincinnati, did you make any acquaintances here in town?
Yes and no. I knew quite a few people, but if I can remember a name, I'd tell you. But I don't.
Okay, no, I was just curious. Any USO clubs or anything, or?
No, not
Okay, okay, swell, thank you. Then where did you go then from Cincinnati for your advanced training, pilot training?
Went down to San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah, and we went, did some flying and with a co-pilot, and after a while, they noticed that I had a impediment that like my depth perception was off enough that bad for me landing a plane.
Okay.
So I washed out of training at San Antonio.
So then what happened?
Well, then I had a choice of armament, radio training, and loading the planes with bombs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I chose the radio. I went to Scottsfield, Illinois.
Okay.
And that's where I trained as a radio man on a beach. At that time, it's for a B-17 for us, yes. B-17. And I was as a radio man. And then after that training at Scott Field, where we had classes about Morse code, and we had to pass 22 minutes, 22 words a minute to pass the course.
Right.
Which
right.
I did, the Morse course.
Okay. So you trained on a B-17. How long was that training period? Was it again a couple months?
That was a couple of months. Mostly we flew over the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay.
And we were supposed to talk back and forth to the main people, and my radio wasn't working. so every half hour I'd ding with my stick there, just to know that I'm out there somewhere, you know.
It sounded like that might have been by design.
Could be.
Keep them off voice and make them use Morse code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They complained about it when I got back. I was taping it over them, you know.
Okay, you trained then on the B-17 there in Texas. I noticed in your the flight log, we'll talk about it a little bit later. Can you explain to us about the squadron and group and wing? How many planes were in each one of those groups? Like how many planes were in a squadron? Is it a fixed number or is it?
Let's start with it. At the top, it was the the wig, and then I can't remember all that.
No, that's okay. That's all right. We don't have to stay with this.
Yeah, that's
We'll come back to it after a while.
Okay.
Let's do that. Now, you were on the 17, you trained on the 17, and how did you get to the South Pacific? Did you go over on the 17 or?
no, from Scott Field, I went to yeah, she was. It was a airfield in Kansas, right north of Wichita.
Okay.
I forget the name of it. That'll come to me. But we were in the Grand something. And it was where we picked up the B-29s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you trained on a B-17 and you jumped into a B-29. The transition must have been, was it easy? Were they very, very similar, or was it difficult to make the transition from the two aircraft?
Well, as far as my job, it was about the same.
The same.
Yeah. But I think the pilot had a little tougher job than a 29 versus a B-17.
Okay, so you picked up your B-29 here, and you flew it into the Pacific. Is that correct?
Yes, we trained on a B-29 on a grand name of that field again, and then after a lot of training, some fake bomb running and things like that, we went overseas. Went to Sacramento. From Sacramento, we flew to Hawaii. And then from Hawaii, we flew to Johnson Island, and Johnson Island to Guam.
Okay. Okay, let's back up then. How many planes flew from the United States in your group? How many planes were in that configuration that flew to the Pacific?
I'm not sure how many there are in a squadron. But we had the wing,
Well, that's okay. I was just wondering, did you have one or two planes fly over, or did you have 50 or 100 flew over at one time?
Well, there wasn't too many flying, but you were sort of by yourself. And so we flew by ourselves.
Oh, okay.
But so one at a time, we landed in Guam.
Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. When you arrived there in Guam, do you recall when that was?
At the time.
Was this in 45?
It was the end of
44.
It was the end of 44, yeah.
December 44.
Yeah.
Now, this crew that you flew from here on the mainland, here in the U.S. to Guam, is that the crew that you went out on with your first couple missions?
Yes. We're all, the crew was put together, and we stayed together for the first 3 missions.
First 3, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You care to describe your first mission? Do you recall that?
Yes. The first one was at 30,000 feet. And we dropped our bombs from that height and of course they lit it. They decided we had to drop the altitude because we wouldn't hit the target.
Now, do you recall where that was? Were you bombing the islands, or were you on working them against Japan itself on the mainland, or?
Yeah, we hit Tokyo the first 3 missions.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, you were in Tokyo right away. Well, you were going into Tokyo then when things were still going on in Iwo Jima, weren't you?
Yes.
I didn't realize that the bombardment was that far advanced to the land troops.
Yeah, there was. We landed on it, thrown ahead of myself, but when we landed on Iwo Jima, it was 19 days after D-Day.
Okay. Right. Let's see, let me turn this off. Okay, good.
Okay. On my 3rd mission, the commander, LeMay, Curtis LeMay, he was the general running the Guam squadrons. And he,
Okay, you're on.
and so he said, we're going in at night, and to prepare for that, we painted the bottom of the B-29 black on it, and each one was assigned altitude. We ran one at a time. Excuse me again. And so we were assigned 5,000 feet, and there was, I would say, just before midnight that we hit lowered to Tokyo, and looking for a place to drop some bombs because there were a lot of planes ahead of us had started fires. So we were looking for a place to drop the bombs and not repeat somebody else. So we finally found the spot and dropped the bombs. And just as they dropped the bombs, we got caught in the searchlights and started chewing up black, and we got hit pretty bad. In fact, the black caused 2 engines to go out, so I only had 2 engines left. Luckily, it was one on each side. But so we're trying to get out of there, and we were going in the wrong direction. And before we discovered that we were going further into Tokyo, Japan, instead of back out into the ocean. And at the same time, the flak was coming up and disabled those 2 engines, and then we went into a sort of a flat spin, and but just before that, I had looked out into the bomb bay, and the radio operator's job was to make sure all the bombs are gone. So I went out into the bomb bay, in the front bomb bay, and kicked the bomb out and came back in and discovered there was a hole in my seat when I got back. So scared me.
What was that from?
That was from some probably a 50 caliber gun from one of the Japanese
Fighter?
planes, yeah. And when I noticed that, we went into a flat spin. What caused that, I don't know, was I think the flak the center that hit more flak hit in the back bomb bay than in the front. And two of the gunners got hit on in the legs with flak. And we went after into that flat spin. All of a sudden, we had some thermal air come up and lifted the plane, and it set on a straight flight, and we headed for the ocean, throwing out all kinds of heavy stuff like flak suits and all that. They were used to have suits, black suits. But we threw those out, and we had everything heavy. And somebody threw the pilot's hat out, and he was very upset. The crew were still not worried about anything, you know. And we decided that we weren't going to get back to Guam, so we headed for Iwo Jima. And that was being taken over so that they could have a place to go if they needed it to get there instead of Guam. So on the way back, anyway, we headed for Iwo Jima, and I contacted the people at Iwo Jima and turned them over to the pilot to try and direct them how to come in, because they were still fighting at one end of the runways.
Okay. You were in a flat spin. So this is mission 3?
This is mission 3.
Right.
We lost 2 engines for the flak, and we went into this flat spin. And for some reason, there's a lot of thermal smoke and heat coming up from the fires we started in Tokyo. They said 100,000 people were killed. Anyway, going up, and that picked us up and leveled us off, so that we recovered from the spin, and then we headed for the ocean. And we headed for, of course, the Iwo Jima, because we couldn't make it to Guam, and we didn't want to ditch in the water. So we went for Iwo. Iwo found out we had to come downwind to land because they were fighting on the other end, and so we come in, they hit the ground, discovered we didn't have any brakes. So, and the left side was the volcanic dust, and the other side was the ocean. So luckily we had a truck and a jeep, and we're right into the dust. And the nose wheel came right up and through cabin and hit the bombardier. And as far as I know, I think he had a broken nose. And we all piled out of the plane, and everything was great, except that we had to stay overnight in a foxhole.
Well, Ed, with that, there was some notoriety with this crash landing, was there not? You had somebody on board that took some pictures?
We had a passenger, yes, that was from a newspaper. It could have been from the magazine that we're looking for.
Life magazine?
Life magazine.
Yeah. And what happened to he took a picture of your crash site. What did he do with the picture?
He had it put in the Life magazine, and of course, there was one that a friend of mine in Massachusetts, who was a cousin, got a picture of that, put it in the lid paper, lid item, and I got a picture of that somewhere that my cousin took, put it in the paper.
When did you find out about your crash picture of your crash being on the cover of Life magazine? When did you find out about that? Do you recall?
That's a good question. I don't know if I knew until I saw a picture. And I don't know how I got a picture, unless he mailed it to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Whatever.
Okay. Ed, could you tell us about your transportation from Iwo then to back to Guam?
Well, we got picked up by the C-47, and we flew back to supposedly Guam, but we landed in Saipan, and we had to stay overnight in Saipan. And why that was, I don't know.
Then how did you get from Saipan to Guam?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody picked us up, but I don't know who.
Okay, would you mention about your mission log that we have? Would you describe this?
That tells you all about each mission.
Each particular
Yeah.
mission,
Yeah.
right. I have a question in here about some of the terminology. Well, we won't pursue that. So this mission log that we have, it covers 28 combat missions and 2 post-war missions.
Yes.
Do you recall the post-war missions, the 29th and 30th that you covered?
Yes, I do. One of them was a flight over the Missouri, where they were sighted
Peace treaty.
uh,
The peace treaty?
the peace. No, the retreat, not report. Well, peace, you could say now, yeah. But
Truce.
it was. You
What
can't
was
think.
it called? What was the end of the war? It was on the USS Missouri, where Japan surrendered to the United States.
Surrender. Well,
To
the
the-
surrender and signing
Right.
was I flew over on September the 3rd, 1945.
Right.
Yeah. And then after flying over, we continued on and dropped some supplies to the POWs. Excuse me.
So there were U.S. POWs on Japan, or were?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
Yes, they were.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. This Wainwright, that General Wainwright, I don't know if we mentioned that in here.
No.
I was talking to somebody about him, that he was in a POW in Manchuria.
China. Wow.
Because when MacArthur left and said, I'll return, he left Wainwright to go to surrender. And he wound up in Manchuria. And why, I don't know, but there was a story about when they were signing the surrender, that the pen that they were signed, the first pen that was used to sign all the papers, he turned around and gave to Wainwright.
Oh.
That's it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, did you receive any citations or anything there from the Pacific Theater?
We did get some medals, yeah. Distinguished Flying Cross, Air Medal, and some clusters for the Air Medal.
Okay. With your crew that you left you left the mainland here on the B-29, you said the crew stayed together for the first 3 flights, first 3 missions.
Yes.
And everybody survived that. On your subsequent missions from number 4 through number 27, were any of your crew members injured?
I don't believe so. I
Wow.
don't believe so.
That's,
There was a change. One of the gunners didn't want to fly anymore. He had a wife and 3 kids at home, so he didn't want to. So he quit. What they do with him, I don't know. But I didn't see him or anything. What happened to him? I probably went to jail somewhere. Anyway, so we picked up a third. I knew he was the tail gunner. So we got a new tail gunner at that time.
let me ask you this. After you, did they have a category after you flew so many missions, you wouldn't have to fly combat any longer?
I heard that I'm not sure what it would be. Somebody said 35,
Whoa.
but I don't know for sure.
Might as well said 100, huh?
Yeah, right. Right up there.
Oh, I bet it is. I bet it. Would you please?
Yes. On the 14th mission, we went the furthest we were on a bed to bomb Kyushu, and one of the islands that's further to the east. Anyway, coming back, the pilot and the engineer kept arguing about whether to go faster or whether to go slower. the engineer wanted to go slower, and the pilot wanted to go faster to get to Guam. And I think the engineer, of course, was winning because he had the controls. and anyway, we arrived at Guam and discovered there were other ones landing at the same time. And so we couldn't land in back of one that was already landing in front of you, because the prop wash would pick them up. And we were, of course, running out of gas, so we flew around a second time. The same thing happened. So we had to do it a third time. And on the third time, it more or less ran out of gas. And so we had to land, and no matter what happened. So we came in and hit the runway, and the prop wash with the plane in front of him picked the plane up, turned it, and broke right in half. And there's a tunnel from the front to the back.
That's through the Bombay area?
Over the top of the Bombay. And I was laying in that tunnel, and they broke right back, right in half, right behind me, and there was a lifeboat started hissing like crazy, because it wanted to inflate at that time, and I didn't know what that was, so I jumped out of there, ran to the pilot's window, dove out, ran in a coral and rolled and all cut up.
Yeah, that. And in this one photo, there's an M on the tail section. What is that? Is that the aileron?
It's the back tail, the tail on the back of the plane, and it's going to begin. It represents our 30th group. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay.
That's the 314th Wing, the 19th Bombardment Group, and 30th Squadron.
Okay. I've been wanting to ask you this. When you're stationed there on Guam, what other aircraft were there besides the 29s? Did you have any of the light bombers, the 24s or 25s, and what about fighters?
There was, as far as I know, there was no other kind of plane at that time, right. Except the Navy had a big naval station on Guam, and they had a lot of planes.
Where would you get your fighter support when you, I assume that you flew with fighter support when you were flying over Japan? Would they come from carriers? Or,
yes, we are carriers.
So they were Navy support.
The Navy supported.
Navy support. Okay. About this time too, the excuse me. Ed, I wanted to ask you about plane assignments. Were crews assigned to specific planes, or when you were called for a mission, was it first come, first served to the first aircraft, or just how did that work?
I think they were all assigned at one time, and it stays that way. In other words, my pilot, his name was Savage, flew with his crew on the same plane every time that he flew. And also, that same plane that we flew, there was a pilot called, his name was White. He flew the same plane we flew. We just took turns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's, everybody was assigned to that one.
Okay.
So,
And in light of that, often you see photos and drawings of aircraft with names on them, like the Enola Gay, like Tibbets flew over Japan.
yeah.
Did you fly on any plane that was named?
Yes, I did. We did.
How did the name come about? Do you know?
It came about because of the name of the pilots, Savage and White, were the two pilots that flew that one plane, and so they had the White Savage for a while, but they had a edict out, no more women on the planes.
Okay. Okay.
So they changed our name to the Des Moines.
So the plane was called White Savage.
The name of the plane was White Savage. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, thank you very much. Did you have any, I want to call them significant radio transmissions? Anything memorable?
Getting in touch with somebody at Iwo Jima was probably the most significant. There weren't too many times that I had to do anything, but sometimes report where we were. But that's the only thing I did, and I had to be far enough away before I could do that. You couldn't do it over Japan.
What was your transmission over Iwo? Do you recall?
Over Iwo?
Yeah.
Well, I got somebody on voice at Iwo Jima, and I turned him over to Savage, who was pilot,
Right.
so that he could be directed on how to land, and by this person I could try and contact him.
Okay. I'll preface it. Ed, I'd like for you to explain, if you would, about the aluminum foil that you used to foil the searchlights over Japan. You said you used to dump it out of the planes to mess them up a little bit. Could you explain that, please?
Yes, they were, aluminum foil was in rolls, and I can't remember how big the roll was, but it was pretty long. It had to be a B-29 length,
Oh, okay.
supposedly. I don't know if that was true or not, but the foil was already rolled up, and as you dropped it, you held one end till it went all the way out, then let it go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the kids with the TP today. They
Yeah,
just
right.
strew it out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ed, you had a situation with a watch. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Sure. After the war was over, we were waiting to fly out of Guam, and had to find out that you had to turn in your government watch before we could leave from Guam. So I gave mine to a friend who made a bracelet that it fit right into. And I don't know what happened to his watch, but anyway. I couldn't, they wouldn't let me fly back to the States until they turned their government property to the government, which was a watch. And so I had take the watch out of his bracelet he made, and give it to the government so I could fly back out of Guam to the States.
And he wasn't happy.
He wasn't very happy at all. No. In fact, he was from Massachusetts, which I was, and I dated his sister when we got back.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Interesting.
Ed, I picked up that you were interviewed by a fellow by the name of Ernie Pyle. Can you describe the circumstances that put you in that position?
Who was this there?
Ernie Pyle?
Ernie Pyle?
Yes.
Well, he was on Guam for a while, and I talked to him. He was chronicling things that happened, and for some reason or other, I got to talk to him, and he was a very interesting guy, very good.
Did you ever hear from your brother while you two were in the service?
Not a bit, no, not once.
Did he survive the war?
Yeah. He was on mostly ships that carried men over from the States to Europe.
Okay, so he was in a European theater and you were in the Pacific.
Yes, yeah. So we were that part.
Did he beat you home after the war?
That's a good thing. I don't remember what he came.
Okay, because it was over in Europe before.
Yeah. So, I don't know when he came back. Well, I was celebrating with myself, I guess.
Oh, sure, absolutely, absolutely. Did you have any religious services prior to any of the missions while you were there in the service? Do you recall?
Not that I noticed. We did, if you want to hear a story about praying. When I was born, would you believe, my mother, of course, had the twins, and she had a very hard time, and they didn't think she was going to make it. She, at the time, there was a novena to St. Francis Xavier. So my mother's family went and prayed to St. Francis Xavier at that time, and she recovered. And she lived till 97.
Wow,
Yeah.
did you really?
And that's some missions going up to the Tigers. I had a piccolo, so size shaped like a old fat thing, and I used to play the hymn to Francis Xavier when I was flying. We're going up to my missions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and at the same time, the co-pilot was praying the whole way.
Sure.
Yeah.
But everybody was.
Yeah, and so I said that the crash that must have been St. Francis Xavier that was out there doing his work.
Yeah. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Good story. What about the USO and Red Cross? Did you have any experiences with the USO or Red Cross there in Guam or?
When I was in Scott Field, I used to hitchhike from Scottsfield to St. Louis, and I used to sleep in the women's USO section anyway, and of course visited the St. Louis USOs. Yeah.
Thinking. What about packages from home?
Packages at home, they came fairly often. Yeah, mostly cookies.
You know, in light of that, was that your was Guam your primary base there in the Pacific when you were there?
Say that again.
Was Guam your primary, the only base you had in the
Oh
Pacific?
yes, that was the only one.
Okay, thank you. What about military unit reunions? Did you have any or ever attend any?
I belong to the 19th Bomb Group Association, and I used to, with my wife, go to reunions if they were close enough, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
We had quite a few of them right in Kentucky, right over, and also in
Dayton, maybe?
Dayton.
Dayton.
Yeah.
Very good. You belong to any organizations, VFW, American Legion, or?
No.
Okay.
No, I never did. Although
I understand you had experience with the History Channel.
yes, I did.
Could you explain that a little bit? Do you care to?
When I was in Philadelphia on a reunion, Marcia was there, and my oldest daughter, Cindy, was there. And she drove over, and the reunion was in Philadelphia, in a downtown hotel, where we could walk to the Liberty Bell. The people, what's the name of that? The name,
What would take?
approached me, and several other people too, but to talk about whatever I was doing in the service, and all kinds of questions like that, like somebody else is doing.
Can't imagine who.
Yeah, they put it on tape and send you a copy.
Have you ever seen it on TV, on their
Yes.
TV program? Have you really?
Yeah, they, for some reason, there's one program that starts out with me saying something, I forget what it was, but I was right there on the TV, and every time I turn around and walk in and see somebody, I said, "I saw you."
Well, he was the advertisement. You were the advertisement for the History Channel's program.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And we would watch the whole thing, but his interview wasn't in there, but they would show him again and again to be the advertisement
Yeah.
for the program.
Oh,
People would say that to me too. I saw your dad on there. I didn't see the program, but he was right there.
yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. In order to call this, there's a program that our church had, and I was on the first one, and I talked about the World War II and what happened to me, and the program was Crucio. I don't know if you heard that Crucio, And we were the first one up in Dayton, and then took it back to St. Not church, St. What is it? St.
Columban.
St. Columban. Yeah,
St. Columban?
yeah. And they at those crucios, I got to talk about the coming back for that third mission, and that I always finished the
Okay, go ahead.
that I always used to sing the hymn to St. Francis Xavier. And of course I did on the plane too, but I used to do it at these meetings.
Meetings. Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Okay. Okay, Ed. Well, thank you very much for your contribution to the Veterans History Project and for your service to the country. And God bless you, and thank you very much.